like the bass to go.
Okay.
Hi.
Lish.
I like the bass to
When I get dressed, I get dressed. When I get tested, I bring that lead. Don't want heat stickers in your chest. Maybe you should speak less. Say my name, I bring that pain. You ain't what you claim, so walk away. I'd rather party anyway. I like that saying. Okay.
I am live right here on my social media. Okay, letting them know that it is a work day here at FUBU Radio. Okay, this is Home of Witness by Lish 2024. And I just want to say peace to my people. What's going on? You know, back in the Big Apple. It's been so much happening in the Big Apple. A lot of artists are on the road. It's summertime. The girls is outside. The city boys is outside. So let's get right into it. Republic Records housed a media day for this artist. His name is Fargo from Atlanta. And I had never heard of Fargo at all until my girl Chanel had hit me up asking me to interview homie. So naturally, I'm gonna start digging into him, and I see, oh, he got a song with Jacquees. Oh, and he got a song with Honey Baby. And you know, Honey Baby is like a R&B girly going up in New York City right now, okay? Wherever she's at, the girls want to be, the guys want to be, because she's just so pretty or whatever. And she's been really doing her thing. So Fargo, he just dropped this 8-track project. He's doing media runs, press runs in all the cities. Apparently his song is like top 20 in Atlanta right now on the R&B side. DJs is spinning the record with Jacquees, a remix. He got a music video out with Honey Baby, and he got a music video out with Jacquees too. But one of the reasons why I'm bringing up this artist is because of who the artist is as a person. I was having the most intriguing conversation with him yesterday at Republic Records. Let's get right into it. Authenticity. A lot of people are not able to be authentic because they follow so many trends. They follow so many people. You know, they don't follow their hearts. They don't follow their dreams. They don't really push themselves to the limit. And they don't, you know, dot all the I's and cross the T's and what it takes to be great. And that means paying attention to what it is that you're doing every day, right? So when it came to this artist, Fargo, there was so many different things to uncover because he had like been this college dropout. And I saw in an earlier interview him saying that he regretted dropping out of college. But yesterday he told me he felt like it may have been the best thing that he did because now he is fulfilling his dream of being a singer. He is elevating. He's at Republic Records having media days, and he has singles with big budget music videos with, you know, artists that are, you know, establishing themselves. So I asked him about his upbringing, and this is where I really want to spend some time. I asked him about his upbringing. He said he a grandma's boy. And I said, well, were you raised by your grandmother? He was like, my grandmother and my mom. And then I said, what about your relationship with your dad? And he said, I don't have a dad. And it was like this slight pause that even as a grown man, now a father himself, that it still stings to say that. He may have come to terms with the fact that, damn, I really grew up without a dad. And all those emotions that he felt at different, you know, phases of his life, different pivotal moments of his life. It may have been like super hard for him, right? But as a grown up and being okay with it and never having met this man until he was an adult, I'm like, how was the experience of meeting your father for the first time, reaching out to him on Facebook? How was that? How was the surreal moment of even pressing send for that first message? What was it like pulling up to that meeting, knowing that you're gonna meet the man that just like wasn't there for whatever reason, whether it be that he was in jail, on drugs, maybe it didn't work out between him and your mom and he just left and never looked back, or because he was just a Negro that got a girl pregnant and just never took care of his business. But I didn't go into like what that story was because I felt the emotion and the pain in this grown man who is a very active father, a very involved, present father. I watched that moment, and I don't want to say it was just pain, because that could be a moment of maturity too. How many times do you sit in an interview and people are really asking you about your personal life, not about your music, not about the superficial? So when you start digging into individuals, who they are, and what makes this person and what built the character that's sitting before you today, I'm like, wow, you came to terms with the man who was not there for you. And then I asked the question, did it live up to your expectation? And he said no. And I was like, wow. It took a lot of courage to be able to articulate that. And I'm a big fan of like masculine energy. You hear me talk to a lot of the guys that I have on my show is because I find them to be very solid individuals, very masculine. Even if they're a little obnoxious, I find them to be, you know, very stern in their manhood. And this was not in a bad way at all, okay? So he's looking me in the eye, Fargo that is, making eye contact. And I'm just like, I'm just meeting you, but I feel like so proud of you in this moment. Because I don't feel like we ask men, particularly black men, but I'm gonna just say men in general, because let's not pretend like there's not a lot of white boys growing up right now without a dad either. Okay, this is not something that only the black community is plagued with. I think that we're gonna all agree that fatherless households is a universal issue. You know, if you watch French Montana's documentary, you will absolutely hear about his father leaving him and abandoning his family at a pivotal time in his adolescence. So, and he's Arab or North African, excuse me, not Arab, pardon me. He's African. I knew a Yemeni sister who went through things and had to get rid of her husband. And again, she had 3 boys by him, fatherless household. So there's a lot of fatherless households, but we're not taking the time to really dig deep into men and this generation of men growing up without these fathers and, you know, their psyche. And how does that influence who they're becoming and how they handle people around them when they become that person? You look at a lot of different camps, especially in the entertainment industry. And when you pay attention to certain artists, you can tell that certain artists are very obnoxious and they're probably not the nicest to the people in their camp. I've witnessed them handle women in atrocious ways in the name of, you want to be around me? You want this clout? Turn around, show your behind, you know, smacking it, all of that, being very handsy. And I'm just like, ugh, the way that the people around him have to run when he has a request or a desire. And I'm just like, wow, that says a lot about that person and how certain things affected them. And maybe they're still maturing through whatever trauma they have. But then there's the person who's humble, who's kind, who doesn't necessarily care that they're the biggest name or the richest person in the room. They just want to be in a space that is safe for them to just exist as who they are, with all of what happened before that moment that built that individual. So anyways, I just thought that was super duper dope. I'm not gonna go in too deep on it, but you know, he sitting with that artist yesterday, Fargo, that is, okay? It made me think of so many topics that I have been known to speak on Clubhouse, on TikTok, for those of you who are following me at Lish2X on TikTok as well. I used to speak on a lot of male-female relationships and about how important it is to understand a man, where he comes from as a lady, because you need to know what kind of woman you have to be for that man. And if you're a type of woman that is very headstrong and you just want whatever it is that your daddy gave you or whatever fantasy you've created in your head, you have to be okay with this individual not being for you, because you could never give them what they need and you can never be what they need, and they're never going to be able to be what you need from them when certain points in that relationship happen, when you start having children, if you get married, if they're even the marrying type. There's just like so many different aspects to, you know, community builds in. And I think we really got to tap into that. And I want to hear more music about that. What made me get into these conversations with Fargo is because he opened his album about a song about his nephew being killed and the impact that it had on his family. You know, he clearly is a man that was raised around women. He's sensitive, because even when he's using a little bit of profanity, I don't find his music to be like vulgar. So I'm very appreciative of that, and I would love to see more artists really tap into the elements of who they are and the things that made them into the individual, no matter how personal it may seem. Because on an episode of We Need to Talk, Nyla Simone, shout out to her, she was having a conversation with Rhapsody. And something that they said is, you know, right now, people have been sacrificing the art, the authenticity for clout, essentially. I'm paraphrasing, so this was not the exact word. Like, they just want to be popular. They're like sacrificing like their souls just to follow a trend that may not even be them. And it made me think of even myself. Like, imagine if I was to pop up here tomorrow, hair all out, the little bit of cleavage that exists beyond these clothes all out, legs out. It's like, some people will look at me like it's awkward. Where's all of this coming from? She's not even that. Is she even being authentic to who she is? It'd be like, oh no, she's trying too hard. She done sold herself. She's desperate at this point. I would hope that y'all think that I'm desperate if I decide to get scantily clad before you, okay? Because I take pride, and again, from the beginning to this moment here, with everything that I have had built up, I take pride in being like who it is that I am today. I like the way I dress. I like the way I express myself, and the things that I don't like about myself, I critique heavily, because I do have intention on fixing at some point, okay? And I also plan on doing more song breakdowns. And in the next segment, I'm actually going to break down a Fargo and Honey Baby song. And I'm going to do Honey Baby because we are in New York City, and she's from New York City. So we're going to talk about them big New York things. Sorry, Jacquees, next time, maybe, okay? All right, again, you are watching Witness with Lish, and I'm going to leave you as I have come before you in a greetings of peace. Okay?